The Middle East is going through major turmoil. There are lots of disturbing developments that require urgent attention, and the plight of Christians in the Middle East is absolutely one of them. Now, this new film, Faithkeepers, purports to address that. But in reality, the film is an exploitation of the suffering of Christians to serve an ugly alternative agenda. The film is made by the Clarion Project, which is designated as an anti-Muslim hate group by watchdog organizations. Their previous and more blatantly anti-Muslim films were condemned as hateful and dangerous by the New York Times and found wacky and objectionable by the New York Police Department. So it is no surprise as you watch this film, you'll notice that it moves effortlessly from real and specific stories of Christians suffering at the hands of ISIS and other extremists to claims that this is just the long-standing mistreatment of Christians by Muslims. The word "they" is repeatedly left vague in seamless transitioning references from extremists to Muslims in general. The film conflates completely separate historical events: the Armenian genocide, the Jewish exodus out of Iraq and other Arab countries, and crimes committed by ISIS. Instead of dealing with the distinct nationalistic and ethnic and ideological drivers of these crimes, they're dishonestly lumped together and presented as part of a singular continuing pattern of intolerance by Muslims. One particular set of crimes is curiously missing from the regional narrative. The film presents Israel as a safe haven for religious minorities, while the ongoing mistreatment of Palestinian Christians under Israeli occupation is completely ignored. That's not much of a coincidence when you consider that major funding for the film comes from Bob Shillman, who sits on the board of the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, who funds professional anti-Muslim hatemongers like Pamela Geller and Brigitte Gabriel, and who opposes allowing Muslim Syrian refugees into the US, many of whom, by the way, have nearly identical horror stories at the hands of ISIS as their Christian counterparts. The vulnerable Christian communities in the Middle East deserve more than the inadequate condolences and expressions of solidarity they get all the time. They certainly deserve better than to have their plight used in hate-filled propaganda efforts against another religion. What they need and deserve is a real commitment to combat the intolerant forces that persecute them.